I would like to tell you the story of Arkala. Arkala is an 8-year-old girl born in East Arnhem Land to a very proud Aboriginal family. Arkala was afflicted by a very serious version of the disease Scabies. So serious that her entire body was covered in open skin sores, making it so difficult for her to rest that she cried herself to sleep most days with the aid of a sedative. Arkala didn't have a lot to do with school. In fact, her teachers and her classmates were so afraid of contacting her and getting the disease that they kept well away. She spent more of her time in clinics and in hospitals. In fact, she was admitted 35 times in a very short space of 8 years. When she was there, she was given 17 IV antibiotics to treat her skin sores, and people were worried about her heart and her lungs. Her very loving and doting mother took her to every clinic appointment that she had to go to. And she was met first by concern and then by suspicion when the disease kept coming back. The Department of Child Safety was called and they intervened. And Arkala was forcefully taken from her family, not once, but twice. In a land of stolen generations, they had once again separated mother and child. But this story becomes a positive one. But first, what is scabies? Scabies is a mite that gets under your skin and causes an itch, and then an infection, and then leads to heart failure and kidney failure. And although we haven't really heard of it in Sydney, 7 out of 10 Aboriginal kids get it at least once before their first birthday. It is so common that it is normal. And as a doctor who has worked abroad in the developing world, it's a disease associated with poverty, and in Australia is just simply unnecessary. There is a simple treatment, a tablet and a cream. And One Disease at a Time was established about 3.5 years ago with one simple goal: to eliminate scabies as a health issue out of Australia. And it seemed like an impossible goal to contain a problem and disease that was so common that it was normal. And indeed, I was a voice alone in the wilderness earlier on, however, quickly gathered a chorus of doctors and nurses and Nobel Prize winners and professors who had eliminated diseases out of this country before. And our model was to be invited into community, to partner and then have initiatives led by community members that we served. One Disease has done quite well. I was 26 when we started it, and in about 3 and a bit years we have had historic changes to the landscape of this disease as we have all collectively pit our will against scabies. The number one thing is that we developed a brand new novel approach to containing this disease that worked out really well, and unwittingly we became the world authority on disease containment of scabies. We were asked by the Australian government then to rewrite the entire national guidelines, which we did, and results followed. Throughout East Arnhem Land, in the communities that we work in, we have reduced the hospitalisation rates of scabies by 50%. And good news travels fast, so we are being invited in by many other communities. So tonight, I would ask you to raise your hands. We are expanding our reach, and your pledge would help us get to our next community, Maningrida. Maningrida is the second largest Aboriginal community in the Northern Territory. Maningrida has 203 children under the age of 5. For $100, we can screen, treat, and protect a child for 1 year in Maningrida. I guess we're all here because we understand the power of giving in a crowdfunding. In Arnhem Land, we'd call that a mob. So for this mob to put your hands up and support another mob would be a fantastic way to support the next generation of youth and leadership in Maningrida. Now, if we turn our minds back to Akala's story, to another corner of East Arnhem Land, and pick up where I left off, when one disease at a time came onto the scene, it was a dire situation for Akala. We didn't actually meet her in a hospital or in a school. We actually met her at her home. And our nurses implemented our new protocol for scabies control and went daily to her house. She is now scabies free, and she has been since we've run the program. She's back at school and she's enjoying a fantastic life. I would urge you to think about reproducing her story 203 times in Maningrida. Thank you very much.